Hi Leo, hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for November 1st through the 7th. Let's get right into this. Let's pull a crowning message from the Healing Rebels. Let's see what we have for our Leo friends, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Guys, remember these are general messages. Take what resonates, throw out the rest. Don't try to make it fit if it doesn't fit. We will get you next time if it doesn't resonate with you. Thank goodness we have Mercury coming out of retrograde on Tuesday. Don't expect everything to be flowy, easy breezy until mid-month though, guys, because we've had this wicked square with Saturn happening. Still hanging out from Thursday into Friday, this square. But it's going to take I would say, an additional maybe 4 to 7 days for Mercury to really start going direct. Right. This is why I also think those of us who are in the States, I don't think we're going to figure out who the president is until into the second week. I'm guessing. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. But the astrology, what Saturn is telling me, that's what Saturn's telling me. Victim consciousness. Ooh, okay, Leo. So you guys know I love you. You know I have a million Leos in my life. This is not throwing shade, but you got to be careful here. You don't want to blame others where they don't need to be blamed, right? And you really want to take responsibility for things that you may have a part in creating when it comes to circumstances, either within relationships, within employment situations, within family circumstances, friend circles. This is very easy to think that life is unfair and point a finger at somebody else, right? So if you hear yourself saying that, things are unfair, bad things always happen to me, I'm not good enough, nobody cares about me, or people are always taking advantage of my goodness, or why me, whatever it is, you're losing your power and you're nourishing your victim aspect, and you're ascertaining your place in that kind of victim club. And I know that's not easy to hear. We all do it from time to time, but this is what I'm getting for you guys for this week. Okay, so because your inner victim can stop you from moving forward by creating dramas, making you judge other people, and telling you that you don't deserve better, which can end up keeping you stuck, even in a financial rut, or a rut within a relationship, or rut within any situation. So here, you need to build your internal confidence and self-worth and courage. And I know you guys have it. You guys are the lion, right? You guys, are that. But at the same time, while creativity and courage and your big heart are the illuminated aspects of your archetype, the shadow manifestation and aspects of your archetype can be that one of fear, and that's where the ego part comes in, right? Because anyway, unhealthy ego is only fear dressed up in a crazy outfit, right? So, really you get out of your comfort zone and work on expanding and growing in all areas of your life right here. Because the light side of this victim archetype is the victorious part, which can help you to hold your power without getting angry, without attacking others. And it could also help you to create very healthy boundaries and act from a place of honesty and integrity and compassion and love and understanding, So that is what we have for the crowning energy for this first week of November. So let's get right into pulling some tarot. So we're going to be doing a past, present, future, and final outcome. I'm not separating the career and the love this week, guys, because I'm up to my eyeballs grading midterms and I just don't have the time. Those readings take me a bit longer. Okay, so we have, show you the cards. 5 of Cups. So this is in the recent past. This is present. I'm going to pull 2 layers for each, okay? Death and rebirth. Near future, we have the 6 of Swords. The Hangman. Final outcome, the Emperor. 2 of Cups. So second layer, we have the 6 of Wands, the recent past, the High Priestess. 3 of Pentacles in reverse right now. Hierophant. 3 of Swords in the near future. That doesn't have to mean a third party for those of you here with relationship on your heart. We have the Star reverse. The 8 of Wands reverse. We have the World. Okay. Oh, lessons. My goodness, lessons are going on here. It does seem like. Anyway, let's get right into this. So in the recent past, we have the Five of Cups working with the Six of Wands. So the Five of Cups is a sense of loss and regret, grief, feeling abandoned, feeling unloved, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Okay, that's what I'm getting in the recent past. Very focused on really wanting to have this victory, this success, these accolades, right? Many of you maybe were feeling this sense of loneliness, and then you got a phone call out of nowhere, because this is recognition as well, right? Good news coming in. So somebody maybe you weren't in contact with, they got in touch with you. Maybe you were feeling the sense of, feeling just very, in need of money, feeling very regretful about some sort of decision that you made or some sort of situation that went on. And then you hearing good news about something, you being very focused on that. We have that working with the Seven of Cups and the High Priestess. So the Seven of Cups energy is the idea of too many choices, commitment issues, Leo. So you might have been dealing with somebody who had commitment issues. Maybe you have commitment issues. And the fact that we did get the victim consciousness energy as the crowning, I'm guessing like maybe you were dealing with somebody who has commitment issues, or there were just too many choices there, right? And then when we have the High Priestess energy, this is about secrets and mystery, your intuition, trusting yourself, right? Now this is connected to the Moon energy. And I always say this, right, Leo, whenever we're dealing with the Moon energy, the Moon rules Cancer, right? And Cancer is the fourth house of home. We also call that fourth house the story that we tell ourselves. So this really kind of does fit into the victim consciousness too. You need to be careful of what story have you been telling yourself about a situation, about a person, a job, that family connection, whatever it is. In the High Priestess energy, we are the judge and the jury, right? There's no one there inside of our emotions to check us, to say, are you sure your understanding of that is correct? Are you sure that whatever, fill in the blank, right? It's the only thing I like to say. Our intuition is a beautiful guide. It's like this internal compass that we have, but we would be foolish to not understand that it's very subjective. And so we always just want to check ourselves and make sure that we have one foot based in reality and in facts, and the other foot based in our intuition and our higher consciousness and self, right? But there is this idea of this commitment issue. So maybe you were vibing that somebody had a commitment issue. Or maybe you had the commitment issue because you were vibing that something just was not feeling right. Maybe you felt like this person that you were dealing with, they were not being 100% honest with you about this relationship, this business situation, whatever it is. So looking at where we're at right now, we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse and we have the Moon upright. So the Three of Pentacles in reverse does indicate not being very supportive, not being able to build with somebody, right? Not having that teamwork, that collaborative effort that's involved in making something work. So if this has to do with relationship, it's somebody not willing to put the work in to build something. If this has to do with an actual job or work, this can indicate office politics. Somebody demonstrating very sloppy work. There not being any vibe of like team effort or support, right? Having to do with work. It could certainly be that. And then we have this Moon energy that's hanging out here. Again, more Moon energy. Again, you may be vibing or seeing problems that will incite voluntary changes on your part. Trusting your intuition here, though. Definitely trusting your intuition. But again, this does call to task. I feel like you need to really check yourself here. Even if something is hurting you, having to do with another person, look at the whole story of something. I'm not saying that if you've been hurt, you have it was right for somebody to hurt you. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying it's very important. For some reason, I'm being called to say to look at all of the variables in a situation. For sure. Like why doesn't this person want to build with this, with this situation with you? What else could be at play? Right? And again, going back to the victim consciousness, maybe something's not working out. Maybe it may have very little to do with you. It might have to do with their own stuff or whatever, or it could have to do with somebody else. And we have this working with death and rebirth in the Hierophant energy. So the Hierophant energy is the Taurus energy. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So Venus is one of the money planets. It's also about love and self-value and self-worth. The Hierophant energy itself is about tradition and conventions and expectations and conformity, right? And then we have this death and rebirth. So there's this idea of conformity. How is something supposed to be? What are the expectations? What are the traditions that are within this area that are typically practiced? But when we have it working with the death card, not necessarily a bad thing, guys. This means big changes, endings, time to move on from something in the way that it was because it wasn't working, and it's time to have this rebirth and this transformation, right? This is a Scorpio energy, and the modern ruler of Scorpio is Pluto, right? It's that 8th house energy. And so this could have to do, what is the 8th house energy? It has to do with how we show up as a we in a relationship, how we blend money, how we blend communication, how we share intimacy, how we show up in all of those ways as well in a business partnership. It's how we show up as far as also our investments is 8th house energy. So there could be transformation in our investments, which can end up impacting our marriage, our close relationships, the way things roll out. The 8th house rules the stock market. It rules inheritances, tax payouts, right? So there can be this ending and beginning because of this Hierophant energy. These new beginnings because of this death and rebirth energy in the area of how things play out, right? So let's say you get an inheritance. If money had been an issue, you get the inheritance, you're able to get married. Okay. If money had been an issue, maybe something happens, something gets ironed out. Maybe your partner gets an increase in money. Your partner wants to help out more with money. You want to help. It could work in a positive way. It could work out like that. For others of you, it could be this realization that something was just never going to happen, like somebody was just never going to get married, right? If you wanted to do something traditional, like get married, have a family and whatnot, they were just never going to do that. So it's a matter of ending this so that you can rebirth yourself in a new way. That may resonate with quite a few of you because we do have the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, which is a Mars and Capricorn energy. And that's about putting in that hard work to make something work. So I'm feeling like you wanted to make something work with a situation, whether it's a person, a job, whatever it was, but they weren't showing up, Leo. They just weren't showing up. Who knows why? I do feel like they have their own good reasons, only because I'm not getting like this energy of deceit. So if that makes sense to you. So in the near future, we have the 3 of Swords working with the 6 of Swords. I mean, this is pretty straightforward, right? The 3 of Swords does indicate heartbreak, divorce, loss. Could be a loss of a job, quitting a job, loss of a friendship, breaking off a family connection where you're deciding to love them from a distance. This can indicate depression. Now, I want to say some of you might indicate you're getting some surgery, some sort of surgical procedure. And then we have a working with the 6 of Swords, which is about a necessary transition and relocating. Maybe some of you are even moving away. You might be making the decision to move out, to move away, because this is just really not working for you. If it has to do with relationship, if this has to do with a job, you making the decision to leave that job, to move on. You might even be relocating for work. Now we have this working with the Star reverse and the Hangman. So there's definitely going to be some confusion involved in here, because the Hangman is about pressing the pause button so that you could gain some wisdom, just sort of get a different perspective, right? But there is this idea too, and keep in mind, Neptune rules the 12th house. The 12th house landlord is Pisces. Pisces is the energy of the martyr, of somebody who feels like they sacrifice themselves all the time. And this can be an energy that you're feeling like, if I stay in this, I'm going to be sacrificing myself. Just you feel like if you keep something perpetuating within your life, you're not actually going to be honoring yourself and honoring the path that you're meant to be on, but you're not really sure what that even means. You're just not sure about like the fog right in front of you, right? Because Hangman is Neptune. What do I always say about Neptune? Neptune's like trying to look at reality through a really thick fog, right? We really can't quite see everything. And we have the star reverse here. So you're going to be feeling a little bit of sadness here. Okay, now this star reverse means a number of things. Okay, star reverse can indicate depression. It could indicate feeling ignored, being ignored. This could also indicate a level of arrogance that you're dealing with. Either you're feeling it, you know, they're feeling it, everybody's feeling it, but everybody. This could also indicate the idea of impotence somewhere involved in this, where someone is experiencing some sort of sexual dysfunction, and this might have been playing into the situation as well. Okay, so this could certainly be like a part of it, right? Because that is, you know, one of the interpretations I am getting for the star reverse. So there is that. Okay, so there is this confusion. So you might be confused, like, you know, if you're with a partner but they're experiencing some sort of sexual dysfunction, this is very challenging if they don't want to actually get the help that would end up inciting change in this particular area. And that could always be a very uncomfortable kind of circumstance for sure. You know, obviously if it has to do with a relationship. Yeah, that might have even incited some sort of third party situation, I hate to say, where, and then it ends up being, you know, a moving on of that because of that. For some of you, that's a pretty specific message, having to do with like some sort of sexual dysfunction, not feeling like that level of connection, and there not being anything done about it. So it's very difficult, right? Okay, yeah, but also the Three of Swords can indicate betrayal even within a business situation. Yeah, and there being like just a lot of like arrogance and ignoring and whatever in the workplace that's creating this kind of like confusion. Like, what am I really even doing right now? So we have in the final outcome, we have the Eight of Wands working with the Emperor. So the Eight of Wands is reversed here. And this is about just feeling really frustrated, right? Problems ahead, you know, vibing these problems ahead, feeling delays, just feeling delay. The Eight of Wands is actually still really positive. It's just not yet. And in the upright, it means information coming in that's positive, that's going to incite change, but it is a delay. So if you're waiting for that job offer, if you're waiting for that person to reach out to you, something like if you're waiting, there's delay. Maybe you very much want to move forward ahead into it, but there's some delay, and the delay could be because of COVID or whatever. Then we have this working with the Emperor energy, and the Emperor is all about being in charge of your life. This is about respect, leadership, really good planning. This is an Aries energy. Aries is ruled by Mars. It's about taking the bull by the horns and having a fresh path and a new perspective. Now, for those of you who are single, the Emperor can indicate you meeting somebody new who's very faithful, who's very like ride or die, and they feel very passionate about you, but that yet there's this delay about being able to move forward with you. And we have the Two of Cups in the world. I mean, this is fabulous because the Two of Cups is about romantic love, partnership, proposal, marriage. Now, that would be obviously for relationship. If this has to do with a career, though, this can have to do with a proposal of some kind. So a lot of times this comes up as like, let's say things haven't been working out very well in your place of employment because of the hours that you're working or the amount of money you're being compensated, like very real problems, you know, very real problems that could get in the way of you feeling comfortable, successful within that environment. So the Two of Cups can indicate a very successful conversation going on, where there's a beautiful meeting of the minds and there's this new proposal made on how things are going to be moving forward and it going really, really well. Okay, this could also be the energy of a new partnership, or at least connecting with somebody who has the potential to be like a really good business partner. But then we have the World, which is great. The World is great because it means completing a lesson. It's like the ending of a really challenging time period is finally upon you. Not yet. This isn't the final outcome. So we have to go through some of these energies first, but the world is Saturn. And what is Saturn? Saturn's about restrictions and delays and no and karma and making you look at stuff and things being dug up from the past and all kinds of uncomfortable, but getting through that, doing all the hard work, and then getting the beautiful benefic energy on the other side that lasts decades long, right? I mean, everybody calls Jupiter, in this area we call Jupiter the great benefic and Saturn the great malefic, because Saturn is so challenging. But when you make it through a Saturn energy, like in the world, the positive gifts on the other side are, first of all, so much more positive and so much long lasting. Because Jupiter energies are great, but they're very short lasting. The world is very long lasting. It's like closing the chapter of a book, Leo. You know what I mean? It's like a part of your life. It's I mean, I know you know. There is something that's going on in your life that you are very, like, maybe 3 blocks away from. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can see the end, but you're still going through something to get to that point. Okay, so let's do some love. Start with some heart oracles. See what other, now these messages can be, piggyback on the tarot or not. They don't always. Sometimes they're their own little reading. So we'll pull 3 heart oracles, 3 Island Time Wellness, and then we'll pull the Dreaming Way Lenormand to get additional messages. Okay, let's see what we get. Reflection. Give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that all will work out for the best. Wait, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. Let's pull one more. Soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. So that could mean that you and your soulmate, you already know each other, but you're just not together. You may be very energetically connected, having full-blown conversations energetically. If you guys have had that experience, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, wait, let me just... Photograph. Looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, make new memories. Heartbroken. Deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. Yeah. Girl talk. Time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment. Having fun. Good. Have fun. Have fun, Leo. You guys are so much fun. So much fun. Cross. Something's over. It's over because it needs to be over, right? I mean, this is the card of redemption, right? Redemption needs to be had. It's like the Christ consciousness energy, right? Christ died on the cross for the sins of humanity, as it goes, whether you believe in that or not. But that is basically in Lenormand. That's what the cross is indicative of, where there's there needed to be that ending in order for there to be a new beginning, right? Man, he's coming up in every reading, guys. So if you go and check your other signs, I don't know what is going on with the man. The man who's looking at the future. And he's always one of the first 3 cards. For like 5 different signs, he was the first card. And I shuffle these cards, man. I shuffle 3 times in between takes, and then additionally on camera, coughing, looking at the ending of something. There are some sort of new phases being incited, but there is a looking back at the past, and there is the need to look at some truth of a situation. Then we have the lilies, my favorite card. It is my favorite because this is really a message coming from the other side. It's very spiritual energy. This could be you getting a message from an elder in your life that you very much respect, that loves you unconditionally, knows you really, really well, like a grandparent or, someone like in that vein. But this could also be an energy from the other side. You're also a grandparent, a parent, a friend, sibling, somebody from the other side who has your back, and you're getting these messages, right? So I always say with the lily energy, pay attention to repeating numbers, pay attention to the change in smells, change in temperature, funny things happening with your electronics, hearing songs that you haven't heard for forever, random memories flooding back as crystal clear. These are all ways that we can tell that somebody is trying to communicate with us from the other side. But I feel like whatever it is, there is some sort of truth that's being shown to you that you haven't wanted to look at yet. The rider, if you notice, the rider is moving forward on the horse, but looking behind them. And what are they looking at? They're looking at the ending of something that needed to end. It needed to end the way it was, right? So it's very interesting because we have the rider and the man. The man's looking at the future, the rider is looking in the past. But what is the deciding factor here is the coffin. This idea of feeling stuck, wanting to move forward in something, but having a hard time releasing something. But there is a truth that you need to really see here, Leo. Stars, it's all meant to be. Yes. Preordained. What is preordained? Stop. Oh my God. As I was shuffling them, I was like, feel like the stars are going to come out. Okay. Oh my gosh. Listen. There's something that's very preordained having to do with your romantic life right now. There is an ending. The ending was when we get the coffin and the cross, in order for there to be a future, there had to be an ending. There had to be an ending to the way something was being conducted. Either the way the relationship was going on, there was dishonesty, I don't know what was going on. And dishonesty can wear many, many hats. So apply it however. But there was something that was not authentic. There was something where you guys were not fully supportive of each other. There was a lack of trust. There was not full transparency. Whatever the case, there was something that was that defined the relationship. And it's what's interesting though, I feel like, okay, let me make sure I say this. I'm going to say this quickly because I have to say it as it's coming. This is all very necessary. Everything that you guys went through, all the heartache, anything like that was all very, very necessary. But the truth of the matter is that you guys are supposed to be together. There's definitely a soulmate energy here. There's no question. Soulmates are often not fun, guys. They're in our lives to teach us lessons. But then we have what I call the red thread energy. And the red thread energy is a soulmate, but better. The soulmate are not always meant to stay in our lives. Usually they're not. They're just on our path for a season, 2 seasons, 20 seasons, 50 seasons sometimes, just to teach us a bunch of lessons, right? But the red thread energy is the same thing, except it's this invisible red thread that we've had connected. It's an Asian mythology, okay? It's something that was taught to me many, many years ago, 30 years ago, and I believe in this. I believe in the red thread energy over soulmate, twin flame, whatever. I think they have their place, but for what I think most people would want to look for, it's the red thread. It's at birth. You have this invisible red thread of passion tied around your ankle, and the other end is tied around somebody else's ankle. And part of your soul path in life, at least throughout your lives, if it's not in this life, it's your next life, is to find each other and to learn the lessons that a soulmate would normally give up to us. So it's not always easy, but it's in this life together that you guys figure it out, and you stay together, and you learn, and you grow, and you're more elevated versions of each other because of it. You're just better because of it. So something needed, there was a reason for the lack of authenticity. There was a reason for the lack of transparency, for the dishonesty. It was probably rooted in, I want to say, fear rather than unhealthy ego, because unhealthy ego, the feet of unhealthy ego is always fear, right? And it's like this energy that you can't escape, Leo. You just can't. You try to move forward, you can't. And the truth of the matter is, you must acknowledge that this person has a very important place in your life. Otherwise, you're going to be held hostage in your soul to that person's energy for the rest of your days. And this is a message that somebody from the other side is trying to give you. This is meant to happen. The heart is the shape of love, peace, and serenity. Now, so there is this idea of needing to fix something. I'm sorry, got to tell you what I'm getting. If it's not your message, it's not your message, guys. I have to tell you what I'm getting. But I'm getting that something you think may be done isn't really not as done as you think it is. And if somebody hurt you, there might be a lot more going on than you realize. And it might require you to open up your heart big and wide in order to understand and have empathy. And they may have to do the same thing for you. But I see you guys working it out. That's what I see. Okay. Please don't hate me in the comments. I'm like the weather girl. I'm reading the weather. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend with me. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.